Ben Wheeler, the Mercenary King, here with deck profile. This is a Coil Percival deck. It actually did pretty well. We recently had a team tournament, and my team got the second place. We were undefeated up till top 2. But sadly, crits, man, Nah. Basically, things saver. And crits. Lots of crits. Oh boy. Anyway, let's talk about the deck. It's actually a pretty solid deck, and it's one of my thematically strong decks with the winning image. The winning image being I summon shit and give things power. Pretty simple. So let's talk about the starter. The starter's probably the best one for Liberators out right now, at least for the Legion ones. If your Vanguard is Legion, put this unit into Soul, look at the top 3 cards, search for one with Liberator name, and call it to open or rear guard. Shuffle deck. It's always going to be open rear guard, but it's choose top 3 for 1, doesn't come out tapped, doesn't need to hit battle. As soon as you Legion, you can do it. What I suggest you do is Percival first. Of course, you have to do Percival first. But also do his ability, then do Coils. Because you'll know what Coil has from top 4, choosing 2. But, you'll not know about him, so you have to choose top 3. This guy is Ketchgall. Ketchgall is pretty important for this deck. He allows you to, if you get 3 triggers and one of them is Ketchgall, you can place him down, then put him at the bottom of the deck, so it's 1, 2, and then Ketchgall. Whatever it is. You may pay the cost. If you do, look at the top 3 cards from your deck, search for one card other than Ketchgall Liberator from among them, and call them to open our shuffle deck. So basically it's a mulligan for your summon. So you summon up Ketchgall, put it back, do, and then you shuffle the deck. That's really important in this thing. I can't tell you how many times I could have been saved if I remember that he shuffles the deck, or that he shuffles the deck, or that someone else shuffles the deck. Don't remember who. That's okay. Either way, that's pretty good. Then we have Falcon Knight of the Azure. This is from the first extra booster that we got in English, Cavalry of Black Steel. His is, when this unit is placed on rearguard circle from deck, choose another gold paladin, and this unit gets +2K until end of turn. He can't summon him, but other people can, like Coil. It's pretty awesome, actually, because all of a sudden he gives +2K. I have won games by giving +2K to a 19K column, making it 21, and then just punching right through their defense. Also, there's a funny story. A friend of mine was borrowing a prototype of this deck, which had Margot, and he was fighting a witch deck. The witch is, top choose 2 rearguard circles that are occupied. Look at the top 10, choose 2 grade zeros. Well, he chose these 2. This occurs whenever it is placed on the rearguard circle. So he was sitting there very fine with the 15K defense on his Vanguard, which won him the game. So yeah, if you knock it that it's not Liberator, sure, I get you, but it has its uses, and it is hilarious. Also, he helps hit, both your Vanguards hit 26K, which is numbers. So if he's summoned up by anybody, hey, not the end of the world here. Just set it behind your Vanguard if you can. Alright, so moving on to the Grade 1s. Grade 1s, I have 2 Liberator Perfect Guards. Perfect Shield and a Quintet Wall. 1 Quintet Wall just for emergency deck and emergency guard. Because this deck isn't Counterblast heavy. A lot of things just use 1 Counterblast. Except for Coil, who uses 2. This is okay. This is okay. I have 4 different types of Sentinel. This is set 6, set 9, set 10. Yeah, he dropped in price super fast. And then set, set 14. A lot of fun there. A lot of fun. Quintet Walls being super cheap and affordable. For Josephus. Josephus is too good not to play. Soul Blast 1 card. When he's summoned to R from deck, and you have a Liberator Vanguard, draw a card. Your Vanguards will always be Liberators. You're not exactly going to run Falcon Knight of the Azure here. He's pretty great overall. I've had back rows of Josephus just drawing all day. And then, of course, when he's killed by Brawlers or by somebody else, you can just send him back into the deck with Legion. Legion is what makes this deck tick. If it wasn't for Legion, this deck would not run. just because of the recycling, to be able to put the good stuff back in while keeping out the bad stuff. Just fantastic. Then we've got Invitation Liberator Rude. By the way, 4 Sentinels, 4 Josephus, 3 Rudd. Counterblast 1 and put this unit into the Soul. When this unit attack hits a Vanguard during a battle, this unit boosted. Pay the cost. If you do top 3, search for 1 non-Liberator. Call to open. Doesn't have to be a Liberator, rather. Call to open R and put the rest in the bottom of the deck in any order. He's pretty fun. I used him one time. I used him, just sort of to add pressure. Also use counterblasts. You're not going to use Aglavale or Coil every game, so this is pretty good. He's also pretty fun. One time I boosted, I attack into Soul, and it was like grade 2. I had 2 counterblasts, so I counterblasted with him. Summoned up an Aglavale, put it down, counterblasted again, summoned up this next guy for a 21k column turn 2. And he was at 3 damage by the end of it, because I also got a stand. It was a lovely turn, just beautiful. This guy is Twin Axe Liberator Basia. He has explicitly won me games. When this unit is placed on rearguard from deck, if your Vanguard is in Legion, this gets plus 5k until end of turn. I only run 2 because he's a bit difficult to get off, but when he does, it's like, when he's summoned by Coil, he gets another plus 5k, so he's at 17k. That could be a booster. That's 26k column just right there. And that's assuming nothing else. There's not other 5ks in play, or boost 6ks, 3ks, 2ks, 4ks for that column. I think the max I've gotten him is 31k. Not him himself, but rather, his column. How was it? It was like a Falcon Eye of the Azure, and then one of the, let's see, what was his name? Shower Liberator Traherne, something like that. And then plus 3k to this column, and then I gave plus 3k to the other column, so it hit, some numbers. This deck helps you hit numbers, and this is a problem that the deck has. Sometimes, you can't summon out everything you want. If you don't like playing him, play Zoran, or play another of him and a Guinevere, just for defense. But this deck is all about that offense, all about that surgical strikes. I'll always have options. Let me see, make sure it's still recording. Okay. I'll always have options with this guy in the field, and he's just really enjoyable to play with. Alright, let's talk about grade 2s. So, grade 2 lineup is 4-4-4, and it might be a little bit confusing to you. I think I'll put it like this. First off, nobody remembers this card, Liberator Bagpipe Angel. Besides, well, some of the most lovely are in all of Liberators, even if it's not the most grandiose. She wields a bagpipe, which is a masculine instrument, I must say. Because, I don't think women have the stomach to just blow into a sheep's bladder all day. No. This is man's work here. Blown into sheep bladders all day. When this unit is placed on rearguard circle from deck, if you have a Vanguard with Liberator in a called name, choose 2 gold paladins, other gold paladins, so she can't choose herself, sadly. And those units get plus 2k until end of turn. This guy is a Legion version. When this unit is placed on rearguard from deck, if the Vanguard is Legion, choose 2 of your other units, and they get plus 3k until end of turn. So in other words, let's say, by the way, Aglavale, Counterblast 1 when it's placed on rearguard from anywhere. If you have a Vanguard, Liberator, search top 3 for 1 Liberator, call it to open R for the rest of the bottom of the deck in any order. That's what he does. He's great. That's all I can say about him. But these guys is where the real magic happens. So all of a sudden, let's say you're sitting with a... okay, let's say that you're sitting with just 2 of these guys, sitting there in a deck, and you don't have anything, so you play Coil. Coil summons top 4, 2. So you summon up these 2. Put them both down there. They both have plus 5k. Then plus 4k here, plus 6k here. Or if you prefer, plus 2k, plus 3, plus 3k, plus 2k, plus 3k, plus 2k, plus 3k, plus 2k. So all of a sudden, these both get plus 10. So that's 26k right there. Right there. That is beautiful. It's fantastic. 226k columns, you're running stands. Because these guys got plus 12. Yeah, this is a 22k column just by itself. No, wait. Sorry. It is a 18k column. No, 17k column just by itself. So it's an excellent target for a stand. And of course, honestly, you know, what happens if you get like an entire column stud? That's a 36k column at least. It's a beautiful, beautiful cards. There are some other things that you could play, but this deck doesn't need it. Remember, this is a deck that is all about summoning stuff and then giving that stuff power and distributing power so that you hit higher numbers than anyone could ever dream. This deck works. As crazy as it sounds, this deck works. So, basically, the only problems that this deck has is when you fill up the field and there's no retire, and you can't intercept. So then you're just sort of stuck hitting with 18k columns, because if you got a booster, it's an grade 3, it's an 18k column, which hits numbers and is good. And the stand's always lovely to see, but you know, there's no tricks. I literally said, okay, no tricks, swing with Vanguard, several times throughout the games. But that's okay. It's what I needed to do, and it really relieves some pressure because you do build up that hand early on. Mid-game, when you Legion, when you start like building the field from the deck, gain the advantage, start removing cards from their hand through power. If this deck had a flaw, is that it doesn't have a game ender, unless you count Coil, which nearly does it. Okay, so these are the two Legion mates. Then we've got these two handsome fellows. Oop, oop, oop. Come on. Let's start with the simple one. Percival is your ideal first ride. He's the one who sort of starts building the field for you and sort of setting it up so that Coil, when he comes in, you got some stuff ready for him to boost up and to give power too. His ability is when he Legions. By the way, in case you've forgotten, Legion is you summon out, you put 4 cards back into the deck, any 4 cards that are in your drop zone. Then you summon out their Legion mate, and they get abilities. This one is Legion, top 4, choose 1. Also, this gets plus 2k when it attacks the Vanguard. That's fantastic. 4 chances to get something great. 4 chances to get a Josephus, a Traherne, a Basia, a Bagpipe Angel, anything you want, anything you desire. Sometimes I even toss this guy back in and get him back and just do him again. Just for shits and giggles. This deck is very shits and giggly. If you don't sort of play this with a happy heart, that's a terrible way to say it. If you don't play this willing to sort of be flexible, and I mean like yoga pants flexible here. Good yoga pants, not like fat chick in yoga pants, or fat guy in yoga pants, which is both. Both horrendous. The memories. The memories. But rather, I've forgotten my metaphor. Oh well. It's like 2 a.m. But basically, the more chances you get, the more things you do, the more tricks you do, the more chances you have to build up some really powerful columns and beat some ass. Which is wunderbar. Wunderbar. There we go. We talked about Percival. Then we talk about Coil. Just so you know, a note on Legion. The reason why I say Legion is mid-game rather than early game or late game is because by mid-game, you are losing 4 cards a turn. So by the time you hit mid-game and mid-game begins, you will have the cards in drop zone to be able to handle it. Josephus fills the drop zone, intercepting fills the drop zone, guarding early fills the drop zone. Many times, I saw a 11k column, and I'm always going to be 7k unless I ride a perfect shield, and just said 10k, no pass. And then they get a crit or something, and I'm ahead in damage. This deck does not need damage until it Legions. You can Agleveil early game, but against Brawlers, that's never a good idea. Even PBA kind of is, because you do have to get that early game rush going. But remember that this guy's ability doesn't go off, this guy's ability, Basia's ability doesn't go off, so on and so forth. Josephus does. Early card advantage is best card advantage. Coil. This guy is Legion with Traherne. Counterblast 2 and discard a Legion persona of, one of these two. And look at the top 4 of the deck. Search for 2, call them to open rearguard, rest bottom of the deck in any order, plus 5k until end of turn to both of them. Okay, so like I said before, you summon out 2 of these with, 7k columns, and then all of a sudden, by the way, since they come out at the same time, that's 22k. Yes, 22k columns. Right there. Lovely. Fantastic. You give both stand triggers, it's good. I'm sorry, not 22k. 27k columns. That hits numbers. And then maybe you somehow summon out a Falcon Knight of the Azure. And then, you give one of them 29k. That's equal to your Vanguard column. Your Vanguard columns in this game will always be 29k as long as you have a booster. 26k, at least, with Falcon Knight of the Azure, who is the only trigger you should really be putting out and keeping out. Actually, no. Ketchgall acts in the same way. Basically what it does is when it's summoned out from Rearguard Circle from Witches, you can just summon something else out. Okay, I'll put it at the bottom of the deck and summon out something else. Yeah, so Witches are completely, utterly just laughed at with this deck. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Sorry. This deck is all about the combos. It is combo-licious. This makes me love Gold Paladins. Remember, Gold Paladins, they have a sort of a bad rep because they're aces. Sure, Prominence, Core, and Glare, and Percival, I guess. I don't think he's mainstream enough. Are really great cards, but at the same time, they're not as combo-y as they could be. Core does not deserve to be a rare. Coil deserves to be at least a double rare. Maybe even a triple rare. There are double rares in there that I just don't think they deserve it. Like that Perdition thing for the Royals, or there's a gold one. And Emerald Blaze. That's a rare card. Jeez. He deserves a bit better of a thing. As such, he's a rare. He's cheap. You can build this deck. You buy 4. I assume you're gonna, you can trade for the Perfect Shield somewhere. But basically, you get these rares from, your store or whatever. You should already have Josephus floating about. Perfect Shields if you want non-liberators, since none of this uses archetype drive checks. I'm sorry, counterblasts. You can play whatever you want in this section. You can really do some damage here. Maybe you don't want to run the Percival stuff. Nah, it's not a problem. There's some really great things that came out set 16. Like, my goodness. No, I got a better one. Geraint from set 12. Or Bruno from set 12? Maybe? I'm sorry. I'm losing track of what I'm trying to say. Point is that there's a lot of commons and rares here. I think the greatest rarity is, in fact, Percival himself and Aglavale, which comes in 1 per trial deck. Perfect Shields, honestly, they're super cheap. No excuse not to get them. Maybe if you want to build this deck exactly, you'll have trouble finding Falcon Knight of the Azure, because Cavalry of Black Steel is kind of getting rare. It's not in print anymore. I know Ideal 808 has is where it came from. Cavalry of Black Steel. Sorry, I had these forever. It's just really good deck, really fun. I recommend it to everybody who doesn't want to play mainstream. This deck got me and my team up to 2nd place. What stopped me was, S-class decks. Undefeated. I even beat the people we beat us previously, but what happened was second game we fought, he got double triggered as soon as he hit grade 3, and I did not guard, which was stupid, so I was up from 2 to 5, which meant I was guarding everything. I had to. and I had to send most of my heal triggers down to the bottom because of how the deck runs. That time I did not realize, Catch Gall, how he worked, how he shuffled the deck, and so that was, that's on me. Second game, he got the crit when he needed it. Yeah, otherwise I would have been able to ride a coil, use his ability, and wreck face. But that's okay. That's neither here nor there. There will be other opportunities with this deck. I really enjoy it. I know you will too. I want to thank you for watching Imagining a Goddess, and this has been Wheeler, the Mercenary King, signing off.